as a wildcard entry, you're a guest in the World Tour and you're a guest in the Tour de France, and when you're a guest in someone's house, you try and do the best that you can, and I think we've done the best that we can, and we've been very fortunate to get through it with what we have, which is exceptional.
MTN Qhubeka's phenomenal Tour de France debut came only 6 weeks after Jim Okovic suggested that wildcard riders were to blame for crashes in the peloton.
There's not much difference in ability of bike handling and things. If you couldn't handle your bike, you wouldn't be a professional bike rider, you'd be working in an office or something.
But we ask, do wildcards justify their place at World Tour races?
Jim Okovic and other people have suggested that the skill level isn't quite the same. I think a lot of people disagree with that argument. I think if you are a pro rider, you can race and handle your bike just as good as anybody else. It doesn't matter which team you're on. And you're also seeing a lot of these World Tour teams. How much really are they better than the Pro Conti teams in terms of structure, in terms of support, the materials? At the elite level, it's almost basically the same.
So why do you think Okovic said that then?
Well, I think it's a good question, actually. I actually asked him that during the Tour de France this year. And one theory is that one of his young riders, Koenig, crashed and was taken out by a Pro Conti rider this year.
There are other places to look for the way we can resolve safety problems. 200 rider pelotons, do we need them? Do we actually need smaller teams?
There's so much traffic furniture these days that barreling through the peloton at race speed, 200 guys, those crashes are going to happen. Shrinking the size of the peloton, making fewer teams in the races, that's one way to alleviate that pressure on the road.
We've seen every year that pro-continental teams often justify their selections in big races like the Tour. MTN Qhubeka were fantastic in the Tour de France. And we look at the sponsorship model in cycling, and the World Tour is struggling to find sponsors. It's struggling to find companies that will want to invest 15, 20, 30 million, and it's not a sugar daddy or an Oleg Tinkov. We need teams on a lower level where companies can come in and invest 2 million, 3 million, 4 million. And I think that breathes oxygen into the whole structure of the sport.
The idea is if you have a permanent license, a permanent spot in the World Tour, a permanent place in the Tour de France, then you can attract those big money investors. That's the argument on the other side of the coin, is that without that guarantee that they are going to go to these big races, that it's hard to get the $20 million commitment that you need to develop these big teams. That's a huge challenge for the sport. I think that's really where the sport's going to have to really struggle with that over the next 10 years, really.